Hey, this is CeeCee, and welcome to a new segment that I called What Am I Making? And it'll be featured on every Wednesday here on my YouTube channel. And the full list of supplies will always be listed on my blog, so you can go and check that out. The link is below. For this week, I thought I would share my process on how I created New Year's Eve postcards. All right, so I'm working out of postcard size watercolor paper from Winsor & Newton. It comes in a pad like that. And I'm adding 3 colors of NeocolorII, which I'm now diluting with water. And I just have a small set of the NeoColors. I think I have 15, and that's just sufficient for me. And eventually I'm going to build on my collection as I see fit, as I need more color. But for now, it's just fine. It works for me. So I'm drying this very thoroughly. And as I'm flipping back and forth, you can see the details in the back. So it's a postcard that's ready to be mailed out. I'm going to add more violet because it kind of disappeared when I diluted the 3 colors with water. And I decided also to spray some water. I didn't like the drip, so I'm kind of blotting that out with a dry cloth. Again, drying very thoroughly. Now, I'm not sure that these are permanent. I don't think they are, because when I added the green, I started getting that brownish color, so I had to be very careful. For stamping, I'm using Patty Parrish's stamps, and I will be embossing with the Snowflake embossing powder by Ranger. And that embossing powder has a white base, and it has quite a bit of glitter, but the glitter doesn't stick as much as the white powder, of course, because this is a very detailed stamp. But I just love the look. It's very subtle. You'll see when it starts, when the powder starts melting, you'll see that it has just a nice hint of glitter. And to me, these reminded me of icicles, which was perfect for the theme of my postcard. And now I'm going to create a landscape with some trees that have a lot of snow, so they're all going to be white. And I'm using the stamp. It's not a tree stamp, of course, but this is what I saw when I looked at it. I love stamps that are versatile. I'm sure you know that by now. And of course, geometric shapes or simple shapes and geometric shapes are perfect to put your own spin on a project. So I'm using Post-it notes to mask off the valleys, I guess you can call them. And I'm going to stamp the trees at different heights to create some depth. So I'm still using that Snowflake embossing powder. And my stamping / embossing went a lot better as I progressed. Because I'm stamping over watercolor paper, it's very textured, so it was tough to get a good impression. So I decided to take the stamp in my hand instead of putting it on a block, and that worked a lot better. You'll see once I start embossing those trees that I just created, I got a perfect impression. So it's trial and error, right? You just have to play with your supplies. Now, this is another stamp set that I'm using, and I love that. I call it a banner, for lack of a better term. It's just another geometric shape, but I'm going to use it as a banner so that I can add the year inside that circle. And I stamped it off to the side because I didn't want the full banner, and I love that look. I love the way it cuts on the left-hand side. So this time I used just white, regular white embossing powder. I wanted to stand out since the rest was glittery. I decided that just white embossing powder would be perfect. The 2015, as you saw, I forgot to record, but they're rub-ons by Autumn Leaves. And now I'm adding the mountains lines. I don't know how to call those. And I'm using the colors that are already in the background. So my snow is all kinds of colors, just because I wanted the trees and the other elements to pop. And I was adding some white accents with a Sharpie poster pen, and the darn thing kept leaking on me, so I had to dab at it. But I made it happen. I made it work. So I'm going to do another version of this card now, a little simpler. I'm doing the same thing. I'm layering down some colors, actually the same colors I used for the other one, with the NeocolorII crayons. And again, diluting it with water. Now this time I want to give it a softer look. So I'm going to spray some water and let that drip so that the colors blend together. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but if you're going to do some embossing over a background that you've added water, just make sure that you dry it thoroughly because the powder will stick to the wet areas. So I'm using another element from the 3 stamp sets that I have by Patty. And that shape reminded me of the ball that goes down at New Year's Eve on Times Square. So I thought it would be perfect for that type of project. So I'm still using the snowflake embossing powder for that particular shape. Now I'm going to stamp 2 other ones, and these ones will be embossed with just plain white regular embossing powder. I just wanted one of the balls, I guess I'm going to call them, or ornaments, to stand out because this is where I'm going to rub on the numbers of the year. I'm adding some sort of strings to these, I guess you can call them New Year's balls, with the violet pen, I believe. And I'm also going to add some color inside those balls because I needed them to pop and they were blending way too much with the background. But I like the effect, and of course the embossing will resist the Neocolor, which is perfect. You can dry over them after you're done coloring just to remove the extra color that might sit on the embossing. So I'm adding the rub-ons. This sheet of rub-on is an old sheet that I had, and it is from Autumn Leaves. I'm having troubles here with the 2. So I'm not sure if that's still available, but I guess any other number rub-ons would work. I just like the tiny type of it. And I got into trouble with this. I really wanted to write the sentiment with that gel pen. It's a silver gel pen, but I think my background was still a little damp, so it didn't write very well. I've had to go over each letters several times to get it to look the way I wanted. But I persevered and I got it done. There, done. Not bad. I decided to add some green inside those circles because I felt they needed to pop a little bit. And it's done. Okay, they're done. I'm not sure how the post office will handle the glitter because as I was adding some water to this part of that circle, some of the glitter rubbed off. So I'm afraid that the post office will mangle this one. But this is the one that's special to me. It's going to a very special person. And I'm going to make a whole bunch of these because I freaking love these. I love the snowy feel. I love the Neocolors. And of course, I like those stamps. I still, you know, I go through bouts of I don't want to stamp, and then all of a sudden I want to stamp again. I hope that you've enjoyed this project. I certainly had a lot of fun putting these together, and I'm going to make a big batch of those and send them in the mail. Thank you so much for watching. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below, and I will see you later.